I think at the end he might have voted for Santorum.
I think they're making people think.
Senator, I have to chuckle to Craig's call, not his call, but the national pundits and the Democratic side of the South. This President Obama is not contested in the New Hampshire primary. It's a Republican primary. How they start handicapping and describing how weak the Republican nominee, or how Romney this, Santorum this, Gingrich this, Paul this, Huntsman this. People, I think, have short memories. Barack Obama was a 2 or 3 year senator, a legislator from Illinois. Hillary Clinton was going to be the nominee.
He was a community activist.
I mean, I don't know how strong. He obviously is a very talented campaigner, but I don't think he was the world's heavyweight coming in 4 years ago. But I'm just pointing that out.
I look at this this race is very good. It's a wide open race, and we just went out there and tried to defend it, tried to go out there and do the best that I could, just lay, read the truth as I knew it, and I discerned it, and let the American public decide what they believe this country needs. And there was an article written in Iowa right as I was wrapping up that I had a ask, don't tell, finishing. I didn't ask. I asked people to do what they thought was best based on what our country needed, and I didn't tell them. I said, here's what our country needs. You figure out that right person. I haven't figured it out. This is what our country needs. If you find that kid, please vote for them.
Well, the process,
I do the same thing here.
The process seems to be getting there, because you did well in Iowa. It looks like you're going to do pretty well in New Hampshire. Then you go to South Carolina, and if you go to South Carolina, it's like Newt Gingrich is really kind of...
He's going. The kids are already there.
Right. So Newt Gingrich is... I'm presuming... I've heard from a member of Congress that is from your state that said that you could survive this and get to near the end by being the lone standing hard conservative.
Well, again, we're the conservative that's been able to win a state like Pennsylvania twice. It was able to win a 60% and 70% Democratic district. So we're a conservative that has appeal to the kind of voters that is going to make the Republican and conservative movement a majority movement in this country. And that's what I think we bring to the table more than anybody else. We bring a lot of folks who would like to support conservatives, but have that little bit of doubt whether we really are for everybody. And so I think we can open up that door, which will be a big transformation in this country.
I'm going to go out to the listener line. Gary, good afternoon. You're on New Hampshire today. Thank you.
Nice call. What were we talking about?
Nothing
Thank you, Gary. It's nice to be able to talk to the person you voted for, right? All right, we're going to go to Josh in Concord. Thank you, Gary. Josh, go ahead. Good, sir.
Bye-bye. Good luck to you.
I guess I'd say that I'm a conservative that has two things. One, I'm a conservative who understands how all of this sort of fits together for me. And this is all about, the three stools of the rate. To me, if you're an economic conservative, and so am I, But I sort of believe that you can't be an economic conservative only concerned about taxes and spending and not understand that without healthy communities and healthy families and people living good and virtuous lives, government can't be limited. It's not going to be small, and people aren't going to be free, and we're not going to be prosperous because, well, government's going to have to be bigger to take care of all the social pathologies that come from the breakdown of these basic units of our society. And so I always look at it as a sort of a holistic thing that, and I think most Americans understand it. I always talk about, that if Americans, this was a Brookings Institute study that was put in place that they did in 2009. Brookings is a liberal think tank, and they said if we went out and told Americans that they needed to do three things, if they did these three things, they could avoid poverty in their life. You know what the three things are? Work, obviously. Second, graduate from high school. Third, get married. And if you're a woman, get married before you have children. If you do those three things, the incidence of poverty in America who have done those three things in their life, 2%. The incidence of success over the median income, 77% of people who do those three things are above the median income level in society. So I'm someone who sort of looks at this and says, the light bulb should go on. And say, well, why don't we go out and sort of promote sort of a holistic view of how we make America a better country and not be ashamed to talk about those things. And I think that's the difference with me. I talk about all of the issues. I answer all the questions. I understand how, at least I feel like how these things fit together in a way that built this country to be the greatest country in the history of the world. 30 years ago, the number of people over the age of 18 who were married in society was 71%. It's now 51%. And it's going down at a rapid pace. That means our economy is going to suffer.
She starts
Oh, that's probably it.
Well, you know what? It's a good question. It's a good question. We have to wrap there, Josh, but it's a good question. We'll come back to that answer unless the senator wants to take a shot.
After the senator's gone from us.
My gut reaction. We'll talk later. I want to go to Sean, and then we have to let the senator go. Is I remember the Democratic Party years ago, in the Jimmy Carter, Ted Kennedy era, and Bill Clinton even when he ran from the more the middle of the party. There's been factions within parties before, but we'll come back to that. We're gonna Sean, if you have a quick question for the senator, go ahead, and then we're gonna let him go.
Well, my feeling on energy is we have to produce more energy. You want to talk about folks and quality of life. we don't produce more energy and be able to get gas prices down, electric prices down, that's going to, we want to say something that directly affects the quality of life of every American. The last two recessions that we've gone into were caused by spikes in energy prices. And having energy stability is just vitally important for this, not just for the economy of this country, but the national security of the country. So my feeling is, if you look at the Keystone Pipeline, and I encourage you, I can't remember what paper it was, but try to, I think it was the Wall Street Journal, it might have been, that showed all of the pipelines that are going through pretty much the same route that the Keystone Pipeline does, and there are hundreds of them. So this is not like we're going a pipeline through the wilderness that's never had a pipeline in it. It's already full of pipelines, and this aquifer is doing quite well. This is really about domestic job production. We see it in Pennsylvania where we have Marcellus Shale, the gas that used to be 7-8 years ago, natural gas prices were $12. They're now $3.60, and your electric rates are lower because of it. Manufacturers have come back to this country because of it. More jobs have been created because of it. We need more energy production in this country if we're going to have a high quality of life.
So, Sean, thank you. We're going to let you go because the senator's time. Before I let you go, one last question from the host here. Regardless of how you do tonight, going forward, I think one reason why the New Hampshire primary this time around has been a little sleepy in terms of before today is I think people on both sides of the aisle in the middle are down. They're just not fired up about feeling good about being an American, feeling good about this country. It's just a feeling I get. I think people are just sort of beaten down and they're just not charged up right now. Do you sense that, and are you encouraged or discouraged about our future?
I'm so bullish. I gotta tell you, I just think that we can pull this election off and get someone in the White House who believes in America, who believes in the founding principles of the country, and things that made this country great instead of trying to engineer decline. Not just engineer decline in our defense department, but just engineer decline of America as a power economically and from a values point of view, change those fundamental values. That's what this president's attempting to do, and no wonder people are sort of down. They sort of feel like, where are we living? What's this country like? This is not what my grandfather lived for and fought for. And I just think that we have an opportunity to have a renaissance in this country. I believe that if we can change the not just the tax code and not just the regulatory environment, but start having a conversation about who we are, what makes us great, and why we can be great again. I think this country will rally, and I think we'll have an explosion, not just economic, but a renaissance on a lot of different levels. I'm very optimistic.
Senator Santorum, to you, your family, thank you so much for
Safe travel. Congratulations on what you've been doing in Iowa. I've encouraged for America quite simply when I hear people call in and talk about the process to them, and that you're touching them. I mean, you're not the only candidate touching people, and I think it's a great thing with all our candidates.
Thank you for being so gracious with your time over the last few months and weeks, and good luck to both of you. Thank you so much. Rick Santorum.